Hi, I'm Brian. I'm here to introduce you to some of the basics of Zen meditation. I also want to clear up a few misconceptions before we begin. First meditation misconception that I keep hearing, particularly on videos on YouTube and some of the websites that I've seen, are that you should be making an attempt at either a half lotus or a full lotus position for your meditation. After 5 or 6 years, you might find that it's a beneficial position to try to adopt your body to so that it keeps you in an upright position comfortably on a seat called a zafu, which is essentially a pillow. Uh, for starting out, you're not going to need to do anything of the sort. You really just need to be able to sit upright in a chair, kitchen chair, edge of your couch, something like that, so that you can keep your back upright, not up against something, and feel balanced and comfortable and not feel like you're leaning left, right, forward, or back. So that's for starters. The posture needs to be straight. Some people want to keep their eyes closed. Some people want to keep them open. Ultimately, you just need to have them relaxed. You don't want to be looking around too much. You want to primarily be keeping your attention on your breath. And one of the ways to do that is to actually pay attention to an area of your nasal cavity where you actually feel your breath upon an inhalation or a deep exhalation. The reason that you want to keep your attention there is so that you can actually try to observe the breathing. And we're not going to force the breathing. We're going to let the breathing happen on its own. Start by breathing all the way out. And just pay attention to that spot on your nose and let your body just breathe in naturally. You remain focused on the breath itself. You don't fidget. You don't move around too much. And the first thing that you're going to notice is that a thought is going to try and pop into your head and distract your attention from your breathing. Usually this will be a sentence, maybe a couple sentences, and what you want to do is take one of those sentences, play it on repeat, just keep repeating that sentence and chopping off the words from the end until you are left with literally silence, and then just gently move your attention back to your breath. Again, we're trying to sit still. You don't want to find yourself scratching. If you itch so much that you're uncomfortable during the meditation, go ahead and scratch, but do it quickly. If you find more pressing thoughts rising up and interfering with your practice, it might be prudent to move your practice to a different time, either early in the morning or late in the evening. But generally speaking, you just want to be sure that there's not going to be too many distractions. Proper length of time for this practice. After you've been at it for a while, you kind of want your goal to be around 15 minutes, 15 good minutes, and you want most of that to be attention to the breath and not so much attention to the distractions and playing words on repeat. And you can eventually get yourself to a place where you can do mantras and mudras and all those kinds of things. Koans are a good practice for propelling yourself forward in a meditation. But for starters, we need to get down attention to the breathing. So that's a focus exercise, and it's one that you can use to improve the quality of your attention. You'll notice right away that you're able to pay attention to things much longer. But since 15 minutes is a little lofty for a beginner, I would set out probably in the first year 5 to 9 minutes, but non-negotiable. I can't say the first year. Maybe the first few months, 5 minutes, but a good solid 5 minutes of just attention to your breath. And if you can't manage the full 5 minutes of attention just to your breath, don't get discouraged. Just bring yourself back the next day and try it again. If you find that eventually you can get to 5 minutes like it's no problem at all, or even if the first time you sit down to do it, you can do 5 minutes standing on your head, well then just jump right on to 7, 9, 10, whatever, how long you feel comfortable. Time it if you want, but make sure that the timer doesn't make any sound because that can be very distracting. Don't let the cat in. Don't let it on your lap. We're not trying to be mean to Kitty, but Kitty's got nothing to do with enlightenment, so it's not a good time to pet the cat. It's just attention to your breath. Beyond that, other misconceptions, if you have any, there's ways to reach me. I want you to try and find me on Twitter, if you're on Twitter. I just wrote a book called Always in Tao, so I have that handle on Twitter. It's Always in Tao. It has its own Facebook page. You can find it that way. I'm also Brian Zen 007. By the time you're seeing this, I'll probably have a few other names on there as well, but I'll be easy to find with those two. I'll keep those accounts open so that somebody can find me. If you have questions that you think might have already been asked, try looking at my blogs on hubpages.com. That's brianzen.hubpages.com. If you already follow me on Twitter or Facebook or HubPages, namaste. It's nice that you're checking out the video for me. And to the rest of you, this may be the first in a series of videos, depending on the questions that I get as a result. So if you do have questions and you want to direct them to me and see them featured in a video, just be certain that the questions are general enough in nature that they could help people other than just you. And if you do have questions that are just specifically for you, ask me on Twitter or ask me on HubPages. I'll have plenty of time to moderate that stuff. And hey, thanks for your time. Namaste.